England versus Bangladesh, I'm going to ask you guys straight away about that outfield situation. Are you seeing that being a problem right now as the match is on, Chetan?
Hello, Meha. Well, I think it's not a problem as long as nobody gets injured, really. I mean, the last time around, it came up as a topic because Mujibur Rahman put in that dive. Let's be honest, that's not the best outfield in this World Cup. Even watching from television, it seems like a college tournament, outfield. It's not an outfield which is fit enough for an international cricket game, let alone the World Cup. But it's been a poor build-up for the Dharamshala Stadium towards the World Cup. In March, obviously, the match was cancelled against Australia and moved to Indore. So there are a lot of factors there. But again, the buck stops with the BCCI for not having prepared the ground properly and on time. And also, I think the blame lies with the ICC. Yes, the BCCI and the ICC have a very convoluted relationship, but the ICC can't just accept everything. You can't accept everything. If the outfield is not up to the standard, raise the issue with BCCI, take some action. Players and coaches are calling it poor, but the ICC is calling it average. So like I said, it's not going to be an issue until somebody gets injured.
But for England right now, nothing is an issue, Jamie. Especially this was something that they needed after the loss to New Zealand and the manner in which they lost to New Zealand. They needed to come back with a statement, given that, they approached their white ball cricket in that way where they're going to go aggressive from the first ball. So in that sense, everything other than the outfield so far, and they haven't, of course, had to dive or jump in the outfield, but everything has gone their way.
Absolutely. Joe Root has once again got runs. David Malan has been doing things which he does. We've spoken about this England batting lineup 1 to 9, 1 to 10. On some rare days, 1 to 11 has power pack batting. You look at, like we mentioned a couple of shows ago, what David Malan and Joe Root bring to this lineup. If Johnny Bairstow and Liam Livingstone, Butler, Brook, Moeen Ali, all the big hitters don't work. You have two people who rotate the strike so fantastically. There might not be two better batsmen who do this in the game collectively. And you see it. I mean, David Malan's got 100. He's rattling around at 125. Now, 125 is a very, very good strike rate to have. But unfortunately for David Malan and Joe Root, they bat in teams where the other guys can go at 150, 170. But that said, these guys occupy fantastic numbers in the one-day game. Joe Root came into this tournament with poor form, got a 50, the only batsman to really stand up against New Zealand. And now again, he's rattling along at 46 or 43. So everything has gone to plan. But like Jos Buttler said, we cannot assume as international players. He said, we're not going to complain, but we find this a very poor outfield. I think he used the term, we want fielders to run through houses, to dive through houses. And if there's even a slight doubt in our minds, how is that going to play out? So just like Chetan said, yes, BCCI is a soft target, but what is the ICC doing as well? That has to be asked, not once, but as many times as we see these unfortunate situations play out. Not a bilateral series, but on a global stage. This is a World Cup. Let's keep in mind, it was embarrassing enough what happened in the month of March, but I'll still say that's a one test match. You can, in 3-4 days, shift to a new venue. You can't be doing that in a World Cup. There's just too much at stake, unfortunately.
Okay, let's put that quote up of Jos Buttler. He's described the sandy Dharamshala outfield as poor. He said that he's questioned the venue's fitness to host a World Cup. And the quote that's on your screens now: certainly if you feel like you're having to hold yourself back, it's not a place you want to be as a team or as a player or in a World Cup match. The powers that be are comfortable. The only thing I would question is if you are telling players not to dive and stuff, does that question the integrity of the game? And rightfully so. This is not just some domestic game that they're playing or some club game, Chetan, where, barish ho gayi, raat ko to outfield kharab ho gaya. So what, we still need to play. We paid the money for this ground for today's game. This is a World Cup match. And to see even someone like Javagal Srinath and the independent pitch consultant, Andy Atkinson, saying that they are comfortable with it. Obviously, you know why that is being said, because clearly players are not comfortable. If Jonathan Trott calls, England team management and tells them that, look, Mujib would have had a serious injury, and I'm just going to warn you right now that this could happen to England players. Clearly, there is a huge problem with that pitch, and just somehow everybody is, from the likes of it, it seems like everybody is just sort of, putting everything under that carpet.